When you record here, you kind of have the advantage of being able to experiment. You know, you're playing it on a marimba and you're like, it sounds too much like a marimba. Well, then we can pull out the flapamba, or we can pull out the nabimba, any one of, several other instruments that are very, very closely related, but a little bit more unique.
What we're trying to do here is be able to have kind of like the place where a composer can come here and record here on site. So we basically converted this room into our recording studio.
Feedback all the time about how great the room sounds, which is interesting because it started off as a warehouse. With the help of Sam Estes and a lot of GIC acoustic treatment, we've managed to create an environment that is really open but really tame.
We started doing these composer workshops back in about like 2013 or 2014. And then we would play their music all different ways, changing octaves, changing instruments, changing mallets. I want to say about half the time, one or more composers would say, "Can we record here?" I called a number of composers, big contractors here in LA. Like all of the responses were like, yes, like this would be such an asset to have here in LA. There's nothing like this.
So we have a large screen, the speakers for playback and talkback. And we use radial in Dante, so we can have headphones positioned around the room.
We are running a Grace interface. We're also running 2 quantum interfaces, so we have a total of 24 simultaneous tracks that we can record.
It's kind of a playground, and composers can come here and actually be more efficient with their time in terms of recording. They have a lot more options. Owning all of the stuff as a single person, whether you're a composer or a percussionist, doesn't make a lot of financial sense. Like if you want to record it, you're going to need a space that's going to be able to handle some of these sounds.
The ceiling is a 17-foot ceiling, but it elevates as you go further away from the door. Using that to our advantage, we can adjust where we have our overheads and where we want to capture a larger space sound.
I mean, that's why a lot of times recordings end up at the large stages. Certain types of instruments need space to breathe. When the budgets are made, percussion is one of the first things to be eliminated. It's expensive to move. Just having a truck on a freeway in LA is a very expensive proposition. So that eliminates all of the expense that comes with that, all of that kind of like extra labor that isn't actually making the music. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We really focus on getting creative in collaboration.